Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another cast. Guys, today I am bringing you what you have been asking for days, weeks, months, years, centuries, millennia, a 1v1 escalation match on a water map. I know it's hard to believe. I know you can't fathom it. I had to drag these players kicking and screaming to their computers in order to get this match. You don't know what I had to do, the amount of Doritos and Mountain Dew that I had to buy to seduce these players into playing this match, but nonetheless, I have made it happen. And now we are going to have an epic match on a water map, finally. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I can't frickin' wait. But guys, hold that thought because I have a quick announcement. This weekend is the TA Escalation Gaming Weekend. It will be starting about 8 p.m. Friday, so that is today, the 5th of January 2024, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and it will be going on all weekend. Feel free to hop on TAF at any time. Join my Discord. I'll post a link to the Discord. I'll post the link to the installation guide video I did on YouTube. We'll be having games all the time. We're trying to build a community on TAF, and I want you to be part of it. I'm Uncle Sam here. I'm pointing at you. We want you in the U.S. Army here. We want you on the TAF escalation community. We need your support. It doesn't matter if you're a good player or not. None of these people are good players. We're all trash. We're all just Abdul Rahmans in disguise. So having said that, please come participate anytime this week, and you can just jump on. We will jump in the game with you. There's going to be people of all skill levels. Don't worry about it. It'd be awesome to have you. So, okay. I've promoted that to death. Now we're going to jump back into the game that I've promised you. A 1v1 on a water map. But guys, I would love to have you there. It's going to be so epic. And more information on the Discord and anywhere else you want to get a hold of me. And you can talk to me as well. I'll be on the Discord. We'll be in the voice chat. You can ask me questions. Anything you want, I'll be there. Let's speed up the game a little bit because we don't want to belabor the point too much. The players are just building their bases. I guess I should introduce the players. What kind of caster am I? Oh, Yellow Lemon Cannon finding a little bit of a soft spot in Blue's underbelly here. Killing 2 mexes for free. So very nicely done. A little bit of harassment early on. Let's introduce the players. Blue, as I mentioned, Arm. He is Lemon Cannon, and he has gone K-Bot first. And Yellow, our core player. Oh my god. Just shoot me. Blue is Fez. Okay, just forget everything I said. Here. Fez. This is Fez in blue. He's gone Arm. And our core player in yellow is Lemon Cannon. Okay, so now just pretend that the last 30 seconds never happened. Blue is Fez. Yellow, Lemon Cannon. Guys, it's been a long week. I literally just caught COVID again. It's been a tough week at work, and so my brain is not exactly working correctly, but bear with me. Because this match promises to deliver. I can promise you it is going to be awesome. And I hope we get to see some sick naval action. I'd love to see some shipyards. I'd love to see some hovercraft. I'd love to see some amphibious tanks. Pelicans, gimps, anything like that. Any naval faring creature would be fine with me. But speaking of naval faring, Mr. Fez already with the first shipyard of the game. But Lemon Cannon not far behind him. And ooh, even building a GAT here. So this is really interesting by Lemon Cannon. Just wanting to protect this area around his shipyard from any kind of surface threat. Of course, it won't do much against submarines. But already... Fez is sending out his army, his scouts. So this GAT gun may come into play. Very useful. But hold that thought because Lemon Cannon, with a substantial ground attack here as well of about 6 instigators, 1 dies instantly, but there's some rockets on the field and some missile towers as well, so I don't think this attack is going to be super effective in Pokemon terms. Fez having just enough to hold it off before it can deal any real damage. However, one sneaky little instigator, sneaky little snake, will make it north, and he will probably take out at least 1 mix. But still, it wasn't a huge blow. Fez doing a good job defending. I have called Rocco's Kings of T1 for a reason, because they are very effective on T1. Lemon Cannon attempting a bombing run and, you know, getting 2 mexes for his trouble as well. So Lemon Cannon starting out very well here. Both players in a decent position, and I think I probably missed this. Likely what happened was Fez attempted to attack this shipyard, but that GAT already there in place to defend that, so he's going to need more than scouts in order to break that position. At the moment, it is only Lemon Cannon on air. However, Fez has reached T2 much earlier, and already he has destroyed his first mech, so he will start upgrading these to T2 very quickly. That will give him a nice economic bonus. Let's talk a little more about the map. There's a lot of interesting things that can be done here. There's metal on the middle island here. There's metal underwater. Of course, there's metal here at the southeastern island, so whatever player can hold that will get a nice economic boost. There's metal on these plateaus that can't be traversed by ground, and then there's a tiny bit of metal here at this little castle at the top left. So tons of different places all over the map in order to capture and sustain your economy. But now, Lemon Cannon with a group of levelers. However, these Rockos will be able to kite them very well, so the levelers need to maybe take a different approach. These Rockos can kind of kite them forever. Levelers aren't that fast. They're probably about the same speed as the Rocco, so as long as Fez micros this well, should be able to deal with these, but he wants to keep them out of the range of the levelers. It's not doing a great job here. Lemon Cannon doing a nice maneuver by splitting these into 2 groups, making it harder for Fez to kite. However, Fez is already on Pelicans, as I mentioned earlier. We might see some T2 amphibious shenanigans, and we already are, so Pelicans very, very strong in Escalation. They lose the missile that they had in OTA, but they gain a couple of other things that make them, I think they actually get a depth charge that can shoot underwater, so they can hit submarines and boats. And their main weapon becomes like a powerful Gauss cannon. They're almost like mini Mavericks. They do a lot of damage. Like, obviously, they don't do as much damage as a Maverick, but they do a lot of damage at a close range. But Lemon Cannon with the first destroyer of the game, and he is going to tackle this coastline here. And these missile towers just going to be very ineffective against this destroyer. This destroyer is just going to be able to wreck the coastline with impunity, but not if this lurker has anything to say about it. This lurker will make its way. However, in Escalation, it does depend on micro. If the enforcer can get in range of the lurker, it will win. But if the lurker can kite the enforcer, then it will win. However, in this situation, I think the enforcer wins. It does come down to micro here. But a second lurker will be coming down, and that should, in a 2v1 situation, this destroyer should lose. These Pelicans now making their way down the canal onto the island, onto the land there. But 3 destroyers, so Lemon Cannon really focusing on naval production here. This one destroyer now very low. This lurker has been chasing it up the coast. Will eventually kill it. But now the Pelicans make landfall, and again, Pelicans don't have a huge range. Their Gauss cannons are extremely effective, doing a lot of damage at a close range, and Pelicans aren't super expensive either, so you can build a lot of them fairly quickly. This one Pelican has been a nuisance. All the metal here has been killed. All the metal here has been killed. And so, nice job by Fez, keeping Lemon Cannon on his toes. And just if we look at the eco here, you can see Fez about 20 metal ahead per second. So all of that economic damage that he has dealt will affect Yellow. It will have an impact on his ability to produce. But the question is, can Fez keep that pressure up? It's one thing to inflict damage. It's another thing to be able to close out the game. You need to be able to destroy your opponent completely. Do not let them recover. Lemon Cannon with 4 enforcers here, so that's starting to get to be a scary number. Once you get to enough enforcers, it can reach a critical mass that becomes difficult for anything on T1 to beat it, even subs. But there are at least 5 subs that I've seen on the screen, and more Pelicans coming down. A well-placed GAT here, but this thing is already very low, so these 3 Pelicans should have no problem finishing that off. Again, the Pelicans do a lot of damage in Escalation. Their range is short, and they do lose the anti-air missile, but they more than make up for it with this Gauss cannon that they're given, and the depth charge that they receive as well. So Lemon Cannon has his work cut out for him, dealing with all these Pelicans. Nice geothermal power plant with the riot cannon upgraded, so that will protect it for now. But for how long, we will have to see. As Fez decides to focus this down, and with all of these Pelicans, should be able to get it fairly easily. So, nicely done again. Fez inflicting some serious, I almost said emotional damage. Probably not emotional damage, just economic damage. It takes a certain kind of player to inflict emotional damage, like we saw in the last cast, but it is possible. Yellow moving up the coastline here, and like I said, destroyers are very scary. Even these submarines can't seem to stop them. They're probably going to kill this shipyard at the very least. Maybe more. So nice job by Yellow. Kicking Blue out of the sea for the moment. And never want to be in a situation where you lose all your production in the sea. Fez, with these Pelicans being extremely frustrating, I'm sure, for Lemon Cannon. Just all over the place. Devastating his economy. Very difficult to deal with. These submarines will eventually clean this up, but the damage has already been done. And Lemon Cannon needs to get some damage done of his own here, because he can't just let Fez harass him with these Pelicans. Already these Pelicans dealing such economic trauma. It is a very, very scary situation for our Yellow player to be in here, as these Pelicans are just running amok in his main base now, killing wind generators and killing mexes, and just killed the aircraft plant, just killed the energy storage. Like I said, guys, Pelicans do an amazing amount of damage in Escalation. It's a little surprising how much damage they do. And Lemon Cannon will clean that up, but he has just lost so much. He's now floating metal. He's got more metal than he can use right now. He needs to find a way to spend all that metal. Pyros are pretty cheap for a T2 unit, so he may want to switch into something else more expensive. Problem is that cans and sumos are very, very slow. It will take them a while to reach their destination. However, the only bright side, I guess, for Lemon Cannon is that Fez has stopped the pressure here. Killing this shipyard was a big blow. He has rebuilt another one, however, and so he can start producing again, but it was a nice pickup here. That will leave Fez a lot of metal whenever he can get some kind of constructor over there to reclaim it. Could help his economy. And so far, most of Lemon Cannon's attacks on the land have been pretty ineffectual. However, he is starting to take this bottom island. If he can secure this southeast island, that may make a big difference. Lemon Cannon also going into his own submarine production to counter what his blue opponent has been doing. So as you can see, Fez now attempting to rebuild his naval force. First he's going to need constructors. He only had one left, I think, so he's going to have to rebuild his construction army to take over the sea again. Now rebuilding a shipyard here as well. But neither player committing to the sea extremely heavily. Seems like both players have committed most of their eco into land production. So Lemon Cannon, with only a couple snakes here, they will probably lose to all of these lurkers. However, some of these lurkers seem to have been damaged by the Crusaders. This will be a little bit, or excuse me, the Enforcers. So this will be a little bit closer than maybe it could have been. But yeah, at this moment, neither player super committing to the sea, but they're both just trying to get a foothold on it. Lemon Cannon attempting to get a foothold on the southeast island, and already has a foothold on the castle. That's what I'm going to call it, and also has a foothold here as well. So Lemon Cannon, despite the economic damage that's been inflicted, that he's still trying to recover from, he's now trying to rebuild the metal spots that were lost by the Pelican assaults. He is doing a nice job of bouncing back. A fight here between Pyros and Zeus. Typically the Zeuses will win these fights, but there's more Pyros than Zeuses, so it'll be close. Maybe just enough Pyros to clinch out this particular engagement. So Lemon Cannon winning this fight for now. However, he will be walking into a nice defensive position here and more Pelicans on the way. So, and a lot of these Pyros are damaged, so even though he wins that fight, I don't think this army is quite strong enough at this moment to break through Blue's defenses here. Pyros aren't the greatest against Zeuses. They're just kind of mediocre. Pyro's more of a raiding K-bot. They are pretty good against most T1 units. But as you can see, Fez has transitioned off of T1. He is now on the T2 game plan. And these Pelicans moving in here. Get some damage done. So these Pyros will be cleaned up before they can inflict any serious damage on Blue's base. So at the moment, the game in a state of parity. Both players in a good position to make it to the late game, or make it to the phase of the game where all the action begins to happen. Things reach T3, or the epic T2 bombing runs. Those are an option. Long-range plasma cannons, nukes, T2 naval, you name it. Anything could happen in a game like this. It's part of what makes water maps so fun to cast, is it adds a whole nother dimension of gameplay into the mix. But oh my goodness, Fez is building a K-bot lab on Lemon Cannon's island. I don't know why I'm calling it his island. I guess it's just because he planted his flag on it first, but Fez deciding that it is in fact his island. So I wasn't even aware that construction ships could build K-Bot labs. Seems a bit like hacking to me. So Fez with the hacks somehow is convinces his construction ship to build a K-Bot lab and will attempt to take over the island for his own. Already throwing out a hammer. But Lemon Cannon with another pyro attack, and this time going to take the northern route. See if he can avoid the defenses. Now, does Fez know about this? Fez will see this on the radar. So Fez should know about this. He's already sending some units up there. But in the meantime, Fez with his own nasty little attack in the bottom left corner. Pelicans, and again, Pelicans so strong in Escalation. However, Cans have now made it to the front line here, and they will easily push back these Pelicans. They outrange them, and their DPS is higher. So Cans are slow, but they are very effective. The battle for the sea continues as both players trading blows consistently. Neither player committing heavily to the sea. Both players still making an attempt. There's kind of a visual bug, but this GAT has been upgraded to the T2 GAT, so that's why it's firing so quickly. So nicely done by Lemon Cannon to try to protect his coastline from these ruthless, non-stop Pelican raids that we have seen. However, Fez now has made landfall with a group of hammers. He is going to start taking out all of Lemon Cannon's foothold on this southeastern island and a hulk as well. So, guys, I didn't get a chance to see what was put in this hulk because I was rambling on about something else, but I assume that what's in here is just Zeus's. Probably a lot of Zeus's in the hulk. His hammers, of course, very good against the missile tower spam. And, of course, missile towers in Escalation are already pretty nerfed from OTA. And Lemon Cannon will kill that K-Bot lab, but not before it can get its nasty little armies out. And Fez now in the air, bringing some fighters out to try to kill all these air cons. Flying around, building things. Fez does not want any building happening. Taking control of the sky is very important in Escalation, guys. You want to have air control. Don't want to let your opponent just fly around building things as he pleases. You can get air dominance. Will give you a much higher chance of controlling the map. And if you can control the map, you can win the game. Once again, Lemon Cannon with a few enforcers here. And Fez needs to be careful with his constructors. He doesn't want to bring those in range of the destroyers. Those will die very quickly. Fez scrambling to bring his submarines to bear, using his fighters as well. So let's check out the player bases. I want to see if I missed anything. I don't think there's anything too exciting except for this. This is exciting. Lemon Cannon will be our first player to begin T3 production. Going core T3 K-Bots. I've said in previous casts, I think core 3T K-Bots... Oh my god. Say that 3 times fast. I think core T3 K-Bots is one of the most interesting, maybe the strongest T3 units in the game. Just such a well-rounded plant. We often see players going for this first if they're core, because it just has everything that you could possibly want from T3. The Widows, the Talos, the Arbitrators, the Juggernauts, the Overlord, or no, I think Overlord's K-Bot, yeah. Just everything you could want. It's just such an amazing gantry, just gives you so many options. No, maybe it's not the Overlord, it's the Krogoth. The Overlord, I think, is vehicles, but yeah, the Krogoth you can build, of course, which is an army of its own, kind of like a tier 3.5 unit. And now, Fez bringing the torpedo gunships, or the depth charge gunships. We don't see these very often, but very nice. He knows he has control of the sky, and he knows that Lemminkainen does not have any air defense at hand. So these depth charge gunships will make quick work of these enforcers. Nicely played, and Lemminkainen quickly building some anti-air ships. But it's a little too late for his invading forces. That will be cleaned up quickly. And now, Fez going into advanced ships as well. So it's happening, guys. We are getting a true naval battle for the ages, and that is something that I'm sure you have all wanted to see for quite a while. I've definitely wanted to see it. Fez bringing an army of Zeuses through the northwest. But Lemminkainen, he does have a defensive force here. Cans will be pretty strong against Zeuses. I think they'll be similar range, but they have more health and a higher DPS. Zeus is, of course, a little faster, but Cans should be able to deal with this. With the Pyros in the mix as well, for some extra firepower, pun intended. Nicely played by Yellow. He will push this back, so Fez attempting to attack on multiple fronts. Lemminkainen is ready for him in the north there. However, Fez has control of the sky. He now has control of the southeast island. He's about to have control of the sea as well. That is a huge army of submarines, at least a dozen or more. And Lemminkainen, I don't think, has quite enough to stop this. Fez sending some peepers in, and he will spot this Ultra K-Bot gantry if he was watching. So he knows he does not want to let Lemminkainen get to T3 without some kind of punishment. Fez either needs to start making T3 himself or go for the killing blow. Try to kill Lemminkainen before he can get on to the T3 game plan. That is never a good situation to be in for a player. You don't want to be down a tech tier in Escalation. There's a reason that it is called Escalation, and that is because the game escalates and you don't want to be left behind. So generally when your opponent is teching up, you can punish them. It is extremely expensive to get to T3. So Fez may have an opportunity here to kill Yellow or inflict serious damage to him. I'd like to see, since he has control of this island, and he's got a lot of T2 constructors he brought down, I'd like to see some big Berthas, long-range plasma cannons, shelling Lemminkainen's base. That would just be the bee's knees, the cat's meow. Choose your alliteration. I would love to see some LRPC game plan. Fez sending in even more scouts. He wants to see what is going on. Is he aware of this Ultra K-Bot gantry? He should be if he's paying attention. In the top, however, Lemminkainen now ready for his main assault on Blue's base. There's a lot of units, there's a lot of Pyros, but I think Fez has enough defense here to hold this off. All these bulwarks, the Zeuses and Spiders, he might have just enough to prevent Lemminkainen from getting into his base. An assembly line of Zeuses as well moving to the front. And all that Lemminkainen has really accomplished is giving Fez a huge pile of corpses. However, Fez is not using his metal very effectively. He's floating metal. He needs to use his metal. He doesn't want to let Lemminkainen get to T3 for free, but Lemminkainen has already reached T3. So I don't know. I don't know what Fez wants to do, but he needs to use his metal very quickly. And now Lemon Cannon with some T2 torpedo bomber play. However, some well-placed flaks will prevent that from accomplishing too much. But I must have missed a naval battle, guys, or actually I probably missed those torpedo gunships taking out most of Fez's army, because I don't see those submarines anywhere. And also the advanced shipyard has been destroyed as well. So very unfortunate, because Blue did have control of the sea, but he didn't have enough air defense to protect his submarine army. And Fez in a difficult position now. He is starting his own T3, his armed T3, but he's way behind Lemon Cannon now. Lemon Cannon pumping out Widows already, so Lemon Cannon will make it to T3 quite a bit earlier than his opponent. Fez will eventually get there, I think. But Lemon Cannon has taken control of the air. These Vamps allowing him to control the skies, and allowing him to take control of the sea as well with the T2 torpedo bombers. So once again, it's a close game, and I can't really say who's ahead. Lemon Cannon has reached T3 first, and that will matter. But with the map being so big, it will take a long time for T3 units to get to the other side, unless he can pick them up in transports or use the naval transport, something like that. But if he just wants to walk with these Widows, it's going to take quite a while to reach Blue's side of the map. So yeah, pretty interesting game so far. I thought Fez might take control of the sea here, but with Yellow's use of those torpedo bombers, he is going to stay in this game and stay in the water as well. At this point, just pumping out Corsairs. So again, I would love to see Fez build some long-range plasma cannons right on this ridge line, see if he can hit some of Lemon Cannon's base. But not quite. We're not quite at that point. As you can see, there's a few Cyclones, a T2 torpedo bombers. So economically, both players pretty even. And Lemon Cannon has reached T3 first. However, Fez will reach T3 soon as well. And Lemon Cannon finally deciding to push out with this huge force of Corsairs. Probably like somewhere around 20 Corsairs. And now Corsairs can, of course, hit lurkers. However, they also have an anti-air capability as well. So it seems like Lemon Cannon wants to take control of the sea here. And he certainly has enough Corsairs to do it. Especially if he can bring his torpedo bombers into the fray. But let's not count Fez out. There's some Hawks flying overhead for air protection. We might see some kind of aerial engagement. And these submarines are doing a little better than I thought against the Corsairs. Of course, the Corsairs are fairly cheap. They're very well-rounded T1 anti-air and anti-sub kind of ship. However, it seems like Fez has enough to stop this. With those Hawks flying over and the depth charge gunships, Lemon Cannon sending in his own air force as a response. And now we will see a nice battle of air superiority fighters. Who can micro this better? Seems like Fez will come out on top here. Lemon Cannon saying oof in the chat. He's a little surprised at how much air dominance his opponent had. Even I'm a little surprised. That is a lot of Hawks. This is like a Pro TA level of Hawk spam. Of course, in Pro TA and OTA, Hawks could just take over the game because their missiles did about the same damage to everything. But in Escalation, Hawk missiles are very nerfed against ground targets. They are designed specifically as air superiority fighters, and anything else is mostly air support. They can offer some support on the ground, but they can't take over the game quite as well as they do in OTA or Pro TA. But nonetheless, Fez has enough of these to shake a stick at, and even has repair pads in the mix. So, very well done here by Fez. However, he is just now reaching T3, probably 5 minutes or more later than his opponent. And Lemon Cannon may have an unstoppable force here. This may be game-ending. Lemon Cannon getting to T3 first. Widows and Goliaths. He's throwing everything at blue here, including the kitchen sink. And again, Fez is going to be a little bit behind. He's just now building his first Marauder at almost 41 minutes, according to the game clock. So, yeah, will Fez be able to stop this? That is the question. Again, the naval battle sort of reached a standstill. Lemon Cannon attempting to take control, but Fez with that air superiority did push him back. And now on Conquerors, these Conquerors will shred through Corsairs like of pudding. So guys, while we have a little lull here in the battle, let's talk about the last cast I did. The cast with Shockwave, No Rules, and the crowd favorite Abdul Rahman. Guys, I am surprised that everyone seemed to enjoy that cast as much as they did. I wasn't really sure what to make of that cast. I didn't know how it would end up. Obviously, I was just trying to have some fun, and it was quite a bit of fun between the extreme cringe reactions, the involuntary cringe that continue to affect my body and send me into spasms of convulsions. But Abdul Rahman did reach out to me and said he had a fun time watching it. So guys, as long as everyone's having fun, as long as everyone is laughing, I guess it's all good. I've done my job. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that one. It was a pretty entertaining match, no matter what happens. And this one's been pretty entertaining as well. Finally, Lemon Cannon making it to the front line with an army that looks nigh unstoppable. Goliaths and Widows. Oh, nice. And Fez bringing out the spiders to try to paralyze this, realizing that he cannot let this reach his base. If he loses his Ultra K-Bot assembler, he is almost certainly going to die. He's got to stop this, so these spiders will slow this down. The problem is, it doesn't matter how slow they are, he has to kill this. He's got to be able to kill what is left of Lemon Cannon's army. He's killed it. He's already destroyed a big part of it. These are decoy commanders here at the front. Lemon Cannon probably knows that. But he can't lose his Ultra K-Bot assembler. This is so important. He's got to keep this alive. He's got to do his best here. Bringing his actual commander to the front. He's got to use the D-gun. He cannot let Lemon Cannon kill this. This is so important. But, yeah, it's just not enough, and Fez will ultimately go up in smoke. So, what a game, guys. I would have liked to see it go on longer, but the biggest thing is Lemon Cannon got to T3 first, and used that advantage to basically destroy his opponent with the Goliath. So, nicely played by both of our contestants here. But, guys, again, come join my Discord. We've got TA Escalation games going on all weekend in TAF. Love to see you there. Thank you for watching my casts, and I'll see you in the next game.